Hello, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, we're going to be talking about everything to do with call to actions. We're going to talk about what is a call to action, why do call to actions matter. We're going to talk about some more complicated concepts like awareness levels. We're going to talk about commitment levels. And we're even going to talk about strategies that you can use to make your call to actions the most appealing that they can be. Now, for those of you who think that this is a boring subject, to be totally honest, I probably agree with you. Call to actions are not the flashiest and most sexy thing in outreach. They're just one of those things that you have to know, right? It's what separates pretty much 1% of outreachers who get all the results and the other 99% who are struggling to get results, in lack of better terms. So although this might not be the most fun video I've ever made, just keep watching. There's going to be a lot of value packed into here. But with that being said, let's just get right into it. So the first thing that we have to discuss is what exactly is a call to action? And I'm going to answer that question with a quote, or more accurately, a definition of what copywriting is. Okay? Now, copywriting is the art and science of strategically delivering words, whether written or spoken, that get people to take some form of action. Now, if you think about it, what's the difference between copywriting and regular writing? The difference is that copywriting is always with the intention to make someone do something, right? It's text which is written to persuade, right? Regular writing could be for enjoyment. It could be a novel. It could be something like that. Or it could be for informational purposes to inform someone of something. But copywriting is always with the intent of getting someone to do something, okay? Now, whenever you write any piece of copy, whether it's for a landing page, a VSL, an advertisement, an email, or anything in between, it's always with the intention to get someone to do something. And you guessed it, a call to action is that something. It's the action you want the person to take. Okay? Now, without a call to action, readers are going to be left wondering, what do you want them to do after they're done consuming the body of copy that you have written? Okay, now you want someone to read/listen to your message. Doesn't matter whether it's in a cold email, whether it's in a cold call, a cold DM, a Facebook message, an Instagram message, doesn't matter. And you want them to read it and then do something, right? And whether that something is a call, whether that something is book a meeting, whether that's that something is to buy something, it doesn't matter. But you want them to do something. And that's exactly why call to actions matter. Right? You need to understand that concept in order to effectively get people to do things for you. Now, like everything in the outreach world, it's obviously not just as simple as that. You can't just say, here, buy this thing, and all of a sudden, you're a millionaire because everybody bought your product. That's not how it works. Everything is a lot more complicated than it seems. But today, I'm going to do my best to break everything down. I'm going to share everything that I know. I'm going to share the very information that I paid thousands of dollars to learn, and the same information that I'm using right now in my lead generation agency, Borks, to get results like this, right? These are 4 or 3 email campaigns that I'm running right now. These are all on Smart Lead. It's our sending choice or sending tool of choice. Great tool, right? I'll show you guys my Calendly. This is for Borks. These are just some of the meetings that we booked, right, or are booking. And this is our Go High Level calendar. For those of you who've been watching my videos for a while, I used to own a social media marketing agency where we used to work with home improvement companies, and we used to use these same concepts in that marketing agency as well, right? And you can see here, we even got 67 opportunities in one single month. So these concepts work. I didn't make these concepts up. This isn't my information. These are tried and true methods that have been around for like years now. I'm just sharing them with you, okay? Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is the 5 awareness levels. Now, if you're not already familiar with awareness levels, they're a really big deal in the copywriting world, okay? You need to keep in mind the awareness level of the person you're advertising to. Depending on their awareness level, you can decide what kind of call to action you want to use. Now, this is a rough example. Let's say you start a cold email campaign to cold prospects. You can't just put a call to action to push them to buy a high-ticket coaching program because they just don't know you, right? That just doesn't make sense. You can't just send emails to random people telling them to buy something, right? Especially when it's expensive, when they've never heard of you, right? But on the other hand, imagine you're going to do the same thing to a warm newsletter audience, someone who's already seen your content, someone who already subscribed to your newsletter, and someone who already knows and likes you. Now, to them, they are at a higher awareness. For something like that, you can send them a direct offer for a high-ticket coaching program because they obviously could possibly convert because they already know you. It's a higher awareness level, okay? Now, I'm going to talk about in here the 5 levels of awareness. Now, level number 1, which is, I guess, the worst level you could be at, the unaware. These are people who don't even know they have the problem that you are trying to solve. These are the people who are going to be the hardest to sell to. Then there are problem-aware people. These are people who know they have a problem, but they don't know that a solution exists. Then there are solution-aware. These are people who know that there is a solution to their problem, but they haven't taken action just yet. Then product-aware. These are people who know exactly what your solution is, they just haven't bought from you yet. And then there are people who are the most aware. They know everything about their problem. They know everything about the solution, know everything about you. They know all about the different offers on the market. They know everything, but they still have not taken a solution. Now, as you guessed, the more you go down or technically up on the awareness chart, the easier it is to sell to you, right? If you are unaware, it's going to be very hard to sell someone. If they are most aware, it's going to be very easy to sell them, okay? Now, I'm going to give you guys an example that's actually relevant in the marketing world. Now, in our lead generation agency, we work with a client who does e-commerce email marketing for fitness brands doing over 100K a month in revenue. Now, for this client in particular, we're running Facebook and email for him. And this was my thought process when I set up his campaign. I'm going to run you guys through the actual way we set them up. Now, number 1, the people who we're outreaching to are definitely problem aware. We know that for a fact, right? If they're making over 100K a month in recurring revenue, which is a lot for an e-commerce company, these are already somewhat seasoned e-commerce companies. They definitely understand the importance of email marketing. We're not selling them on email marketing. They know it's important. And they know that they could be doing better than they're already doing. Now, the people we're outreaching to are not product aware. Although this audience is aware that email marketing is important, they are not aware that my client specifically is the one that can do it better for them. Meaning they know that they need it. They just don't know if my client is the one to do it. And based on that information, we're going to revolve the entire campaign around that. Now, this means our primary objective is to sell people on my client and not the service itself. We're not looking to convince them that email marketing works, but more that my client's solution is the best option for them. Now, knowing all of the above, what kind of call to action could we consider? Now, 3 examples. Buy my service. If we send them a straight up email, hey, your email flows suck, buy my service. Then the next thing, book a call. This could work, but they're not sold on my client just yet. So they might not want to give us their time. And then the lowest commitment version is going to be get some sort of free asset, get a guide, get an audit, some sort of other video, whatever it might be, just some sort of asset, some sort of lead magnet, some sort of value that you can give to them to build trust. Now, you guessed it. That's the option we chose, and I'm going to explain why. Now, number 1, when you send somebody an asset, especially an asset with a lot of value in it, you're building credibility that your client is an expert in whatever industry they're in. For our example, it's e-commerce, email marketing. Number 2, or B, the asset we do is a personalized Loom video. So in this particular situation, the client or the prospect of my client also gets to see my client. They get to sort of familiarize themselves with the person. They get to see and hear him, which builds trust. And then the last point is it's very low commitment. And we're going to talk about commitment levels later. But this is a lot less commitment. It takes a lot less effort to just watch a video than get on a call. Okay? And that's why it makes for the perfect call to action. And the key takeaway of this slide is I want you guys to understand high commitment call to actions only work for high awareness level prospects. And low commitment call to actions only work for low awareness prospects, right? You need to understand that those two have a correlation with each other. You can't ask someone you just met for a huge favor, right? But you can't ask someone you've known your whole life for a huge favor. All of these concepts go beyond business and copywriting. All of these concepts are real life concepts that you use every single day. You just need to apply it more to marketing. Okay? Now continuing. Now we're going to talk about commitment levels. Now, awareness levels and commitment levels go hand in hand. Awareness levels measure how aware a person is about a certain problem in their life. Commitment levels measure how much commitment an offer takes to fulfill on. Now, why do they matter? Because you can't give a low awareness prospect a high commitment offer. Now, I'm going to give you guys an example. Let's say somebody hates throwing out trash every single night, right? They hate going outside, opening the trash bin, throwing it out. They just hate that process. Now, they are unaware there are services that come to your house, take your trash, and throw it out. And things like this do exist, right? Now, these people are problem aware. They know they have a problem, they just don't know a solution exists. Now, imagine somebody knocked on their door from a waste disposal company, and they offer them a free trial where they're going to take out their trash for a month for free. And at the end of that month, they'll be offered a paid subscription. Why wouldn't that person say yes? They know they have that problem, and as long as the price is something reasonable, they'd say yes. Now, imagine on the contrary, the same company knocks on the same cold prospect's door, and instead of offering them a free trial, they ask if they'd be interested in a 3-year fixed rate annual contract. That person is now being approached with that person is a low awareness prospect being approached with a high commitment offer. And in that case, the odds are that prospect is not going to sign up for a 3-year commitment when they barely even know they have that problem and barely even know that company, right? I really hope this is settling in because it's the same problem, it's the same prospect, it's the same everything, but one form of outreach is meant for low commitment and the other form of outreach, right, is meant for high commitment. Now, why am I explaining all of this? I'm explaining this because before doing outreach to any prospect, you need to first consider what is your relationship with said prospect. Right? Now, let's do reference that same client from before to convey the concept of commitment levels. Now, let's say, and the client I'm referring to is the email marketing client. Now, let's say I want to start a campaign and I want to choose a call to action because that's always the first step, right? You need to write your copy or write your campaigns around the call to action. So, first step, always choose the call to action. Here are some of my choices. Buy my service. Meet in person, Zoom call, phone call, watch a video, get a document. Those are my 6 options. Now let's talk about each one of them. Buy my service. This is the highest commitment call to action. This requires the prospect to expend money, time, and energy. 3 things that they do not want to give you. Number 2, meet in person. This is the second highest commitment call to action. This requires the prospect to spend time, energy, and possibly money, depending on where you guys go meet. A Zoom call. This is relatively high commitment, not as high commitment as the previous 2, but still pretty high commitment, because the person needs to dedicate time and all of their attention. No more money this time, but they still need to dedicate time and their attention. Because you can't be driving or something or be doing something while taking a Zoom call, right? You're on the Zoom call one-on-one with the person, there's a camera, right? So that's why. Then a phone call. Now, this is a little bit less commitment than the Zoom call because the prospect doesn't need to dedicate all of their attention to you because they still could be driving or doing something while talking to you. And then the next thing is watch a video. Now, this is what we did for the client. But this is far less commitment than a call since it can happen anytime, right? The person can watch the video whenever they want. And they don't have to necessarily speak or reply back right away, right? Obviously, sometimes you're in a noisy environment. You can't take a call, but you can watch a video. And they don't have to dedicate a set amount of time, right? They could skip through the video, do whatever, but they still have to, relatively speaking, watch the duration of the video if they want to get the value. Now, read a document. This is the least commitment call to action. Since first of all, they can read it anytime. They don't have to show up somewhere at a certain time. They can read it anytime they want. They can read it at any pace. If they don't want to read the whole document, they can skim through. Number 3, they don't have to spend any money to get the document. Number 4, it takes very minimal effort. right? They don't even have to watch. They don't have to give full attention to the video, right? They just have to read the document. And number 5, they don't have to go anywhere to consume the asset. They could do it anywhere, right? So it's not like meeting up. Now, I hope it's really starting to settle in that when you approach a prospect, you need to keep in mind what their current awareness level is in order to determine the type of commitment they have, in order to determine the type of offer you can make, right? All of these things are tied into each other. And a lot of the time, our conversion process for a client is 2 steps, right? And how that would look like is we approach them with a low commitment offer like a document or a video. Then we get the prospect to say yes, because there's no reason they shouldn't say yes. It's just a free piece of value, right? They don't lose anything. So there's no reason why they shouldn't say yes. And that's why we have a very big conversion rate. Once they say yes, we send over the asset, right? A lot of the time it's a personalized video just because that is really the best type of asset. And after that prospect watches it, they now know who my client is. They now believe my client is an authority in that space. And they have already seen my client and heard my client, which creates more of a human connection, right? Then, and only then, once they've increased their awareness level in regards to my client, will we push the next call to action, which is most of the time book a call. Now, notice how if we would have sent those same prospects a message directly saying book a call, they would not have known my client. They might not have booked with my client. They might not have thought that my client was an authority. But because of the fact we have a 2-step conversion process, they believed that my client was an authority, knew what he was talking about, and therefore booked the call. Now, these are some real examples for that real client of real calls that we booked him through cold email. Now, a lot of the stuff I've whited out for obvious reasons. I'm not going to leak the leads or the calls that I booked him with or my client's name. But as you can see right here, for a lady named Samantha, we sent her the loom. Hey, Samantha, here's a quick video highlighting our process. And obviously before this, there was other conversations, but these are the only relevant ones. We sent her a loom. She said, hey, client's name, thanks for the video. I'm open to a call next week. I just added my colleague. We said, sure, let's do it. And then we put the Calendly link. Now, let's continue. I'm going to give you guys another example. This one is a little bit, you got to zoom in to see this one because there was a big conversation. But here, there was some sort of problem with the video. We ended up resending it. The person said, that's weird. The email must have got messed up. Here's a new link. This is what we sent off to the client or to the prospect. They watched the video. There was some conversations back and forth. And then they respond, hi, client name. I can be available at 3 p.m. if you'd like to send an invite. Many thanks. Again, we booked another call because we led with value. Let's go down again. Here's another example. This is for Lucy. Now, Lucy, we sent her a video. We said, hey, Lucy, here's the quick video highlighting our process. Sent the loom. Would you be opposed to a short call so we can go over this a little bit more in depth? She had a couple of questions. We followed up with her. Then she finally responded, hi, client name. I've just scheduled a call with you for 2 p.m. on Thursday. I look forward to discussing this further. Best wishes, Lucy. Now, I can give examples like this all day long. We've booked tons of calls for this guy, but point being is this works. And this isn't my opinion, right? This is what all the people at the top are doing. Everybody leads with value, right? Nobody just books calls out of nowhere anymore. This just doesn't happen, right? Cold email is too saturated where, you could just send an email and just get a booking right away. You need to lead with value, right? You need to first approach those low commitment prospects and increase their awareness levels and then ask for a call. Right? Now, we also need to talk about positioning call to actions. Now, this section is way, way, way more important than you think, right? Because I know the whole thing in marketing, people always talk about positioning, but this is very important. Now, everybody knows that people do not buy products/services. They buy results. Nobody buys a gym membership to work out. They buy a gym membership to get fit. Those are 2 very different things. Nobody buys a car to drive. They buy a car to get from point A to point B, right? That they want the result of having the car, not the car itself. And nobody gets plastic surgery to just change their face. They get plastic surgery to increase their appearance, or at least what they think is increasing their appearance. Okay? Now, people like to buy things that result in what they want, not the actual things or services that they're buying. Okay? Now, you need to use the same ideology when writing your call to actions. Now, imagine you were writing a cold email for a fitness coaching offer. Like, just in theory. Let's say you're working with someone who does fitness coaching and you're doing outreach for them. Now, the boring call to action is schedule a fitness consultation call. The good call to action is want that beach body, start today and have it by the summer, right? That's just going to catch a person's attention so much more. And that's a call to action too, right? You're asking them if they want this and telling them that if they start today, if they book today, that's what's going to happen. Same thing, just a lot better. Now, mind you, these are all examples off the dome. I literally wrote these like just as I was going, just to give an example. And if I actually was doing outreach, I'd make these even better and I'd make them even more compelling. These are all just examples, right? The idea of this is to get your juices flowing and really start to make you think outside the box when you're doing outreach. Now, since people are interested in results and not products, you need to take advantage of that in your copy. Stop offering to book a call and start offering to supercharge your sales pipeline, right? Give it a fancy word, right? Make it sound better. Now, hopefully this all makes sense, right? I'm trying my best here to make it into simple terms, but that's the best I can explain it. Now, last part, right before you guys go, if you do want all of this stuff, if you do want cold outreach done for you on a complete pay-per-call basis, we do actually offer it, right? Obviously, I mentioned my lead generation agency earlier in the video, Borks. We have a complete qualified call basis offer where you only pay on results for every qualified call that we get you, meaning you only pay us when we get you on a call with someone that shows up, makes enough money to work with you, is in an industry that you service, and is interested in your services. Then we set up everything, including your landing pages, video sales letter, all your conversion copy, all your campaigns, set up an optimized Calendly, write your scripts for the campaigns, and everything else that goes into it. And if you want us to do it so you guys can get results like this, where we're booking 5 to 10 calls a week for Damien, or from 3 to 8 clients for Kareem, or from 1 to 2 calls per week to 1 to 2 calls per day for Toli, who's actually, funny enough, a fitness coach himself, or if you want 17 meetings in 2 weeks like Michael, or so on, all of these case studies are on the website, then you can go book a call on a complete pay-per-qualified call basis with us. All we're going to do is talk about some ideas for your company, some outreach strategies. It's just an outreach consultation call, right? If we feel like we can help you, right, since we're completely on performance, if we feel that we can help you, at the end of the call, we'll make you an offer. If you like it, take it. If not, don't take it. You leave with some advice for free, meaning worst case scenario, you get 30 minutes of free advice. Best case scenario, we start working together. We book you guys tons of calls and everybody's happy. But with that being said, if you guys are interested, you can go in this document. The link's right here to book, or I'm going to have it in the description. It's going to be the first link. And anyways, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. I'm a small channel, so I really do notice every single person that likes and subscribes. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Hope you learned something. Bye-bye.